Hello there, I'm Callum and welcome to the EU in Review, where I review the Star Wars Expanded Universe as I experience it. Today I'm going to be continuing with the classic Marvel Star Wars comic run in my journey to issue 108. And so I'm going to be covering issues 35 to 38 for this story arc. Now, I'm going to begin with issue 35, written by Archie Goodwin, illustrated by Callum and Cantina and Jean Day. So, as always, I'm taking notes as I read it, so this will be my thoughts as I read it. Vader says that the T-65 pilot instead of X-Wing pilot, and to be honest, it's easier to say X-Wing, so I don't know why it doesn't just say that. I think it's interesting how entwined the Targ family is now in the Empire. For not hearing about them in much else, at least from what I've read, it's interesting how important they are in these comics. Luke is in Blue Squadron instead of Red Squadron, but it's quite easy to say, well, he just transferred squadrons for this mission. And Leia looks really buff in the background on one panel. It's pretty funny. I'll put it up here. The Order of the Sacred Circle is interesting. But the home planet is Monastery. Seriously? Monastery? Can't you come up with a better name? Anyway. Luke seems nervous when he encounters Domina, Sister Domina. And he's enamored by the redhead's beauty, which is where we begin to see some foreshadowing possibly for him marrying Mara Jade as a redhead. It's probably a bit of a stretch, but he likes redheads, he's enamored by her, he married Mara Jade, who's a redhead. Fun times. Luke changes his outfit, and it feels like finally he's changed his outfit from the A New Hope outfit into closer to his Empire Strikes Back outfit. And, this is a funny bit. C-3PO has nipple clamps to be part of the comm system. It's funny. And the lightsaber is a ceremonial weapon for them, which is interesting. Going to monasteries is a ceremonial weapon, and so they can take it in a planet with no weapons. They don't think people can use it, which is interesting. And it's interesting how Sister Domina flirting with Luke and how he reacts. It's funny. And Luke speaking about what he thinks of her as Leia and Han listen is quite funny as well. That's great fun to have this bit of a, he's got a crush and that sort of thing amongst the actual plot. And it's also part of the plot. And Sister Domina being Orman Targ's sister and plotting against Luke is a great twist. Spoiler alert. I love that. It's a great way to add more drama to the story, and that she's not just flirting with him. And that's not just a thing that they're doing, but it's actually to work against him, which is awesome. Now, issue 36 is also written and illustrated by the same people. It's great how Wormus, who's Vader's captain, the executor at the time, just smashes through Han's con and takes the ship apart. So Han tries to con them, and just completely goes, nah, we're searching that. Not listening to you, basically. It's good how it references back to Luke learning to swim. It's also nice how there's a role reversal where Leia saves Han and Chewie rather than it being the other way with Han, Chewie and Luke saving her in A New Hope. And there's references back to A New Hope with the banter, which is always good. To be honest, I expected Baron Orman Targ's return, so he sort of said that he disappeared before, but then he's being brought back for this. So the whole Targ intrigue plot is interesting, I like it. Issue 37, written and illustrated by the same people again. Domina Targ attempting to manipulate against both sides is cool to see. This plot's quite interesting. And the Crystal Valley is cool. The crystals popping out of the ground make for nice terrain for a fight to add to the drama, the anticipation and uncertainty of whether this will survive. Even though we got Empire Strikes Back, we know he survives. But it's cool to put yourself in the moment. Leia holds the blaster weird. Maybe it's just how they drew it. It looks weird. So I feel a bit for Baron Targ with Domina losing her innocence. There's an interesting subplot line of him trying to protect her. And Vader can jump! So he actually jumps, where it's actually more limited in the movies of what we see. But of course he'd be able to jump, otherwise he'd be just... people would just run away from him, probably. There's a really nice twist. I thought Luke was winning too easily. And I like how Vader uses the Force to make Luke think he's fighting Vader when it's actually Ormond Targ again. All the good intrigue on this one. Vader is menacing and awesome when taunting Luke, as he should be. Although he calls Luke a puppy. They have puppies in Star Wars, I guess. They have ack dogs, they have ack pups. Makes sense. I like how Luke says he's not ready to fight Vader. He acknowledges that, and he knows that he needs more to be able to fight him. And it's nice how the epilogue leads into another story where Jabba reinstates Han's bounty. Although why I took it off before was a bit weird, to be honest. And they spell Jabba the Hutt with one T again. So it's like the Hutt building instead of the species. But anyway, this next one, issue 38, that was the end of that storyline, which is really cool. Involving Domina Targ and the Targ family sort of being the end of the Targ family, although they could come back later, who knows. I'll see. Lots of people will know, these have been out for ages, but I'll see as I read them. But issue 38 is sort of a one-off, so I chucked it on the end here to review. Written by Archie Goodwin and illustrated by Michael Golden and Terry Austin. So, at the end of the last issue, it said the next issue will be Empire Strikes Back, but it isn't. It's this one shot. It must have taken him a bit longer to do it. But anyway, Luke got scrawny all of a sudden. His face still looks off, but he got scrawny, he's not buff like He-Man. This is where it gets a bit weird. There's some giant organic ship thing that someone's become a part of, and it's a bit weird. So there's this whole plot with that, with them discovering what it is, all that. It's odd. But it stops because of seeing Luke and Leia caring for each other, which is... it's interesting, and works as far as a personal narrative perspective, but I don't know why it's so quick to do that. The backstory of the warrior who fused with the ship because of a plague and war and is now the only survivor is interesting. But the whole organic ship thing seems a bit wacky, but they do say it's from a different galaxy. So it's quite possible that in another galaxy in Star Wars that stuff happens. But I was also thinking, they do this organic ship thing. Is this related to the Yuzan Vong? That's something for you to think about. Most likely not, because of the printing dates and all that, but I'd like to think that it's also related to the Vong in some way in the things. And, oh man, antimatter pods are definitely way too out there. This is just a really wacky one. It's weird, but it's cool to read, but it's really weird, so be expected if you're reading it for it to be weird. The ship at the end says it's from another galaxy, as I said before, so possibly that explains why it's how it is. But it's really wacky. It doesn't really feel like Star Wars as much for me, other than they put Luke and Leia in it. And it's one of those things I think could be chalked down as definitely S-canon. Or even it could lay in the realm of the Tales comics, where it's not canon, but it's a cool story. But, hey, it's S-canon officially, so that's cool. So what do you think about the whole storyline with the Targ family, and Monastery, Domina Targ coming in, all that stuff? If you've read it, I think it's cool. I really like that plot. And what do you think of issue 38, which is really just an odd one, in my opinion? That will be all for this episode. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!